Indiana hosting the Rutgers Scarlet Knights for the first time in school history. Moments ago, we caught up with Indiana head football coach Kevin Wilson.
Kevin, injuries have been a big story the last couple of weeks. What did you see from Nate Sudfeld and Jordan Howard? What do you expect today?
Well, I think Nate will start out. Jordan, we don't think is ready yet. So, again, and I don't anticipate him playing. Getting close. Went through warm-ups, but Nate's good to go, and we'll go with him today.
Energy and swagger are words I heard you use a lot this week. How important is it for this team to play with confidence from the opening kick?
Well, to me, we just got to create energy by playing fast. Whether it be defensive stops, we're going to start on D and kick cover. We need to get off the start, good, fast start. Rutgers very talented offense, and we get offense. We need to get some momentum going by making plays. So the game is a game of energy, and we got to create our own today.
Thanks, Kevin.
Jeremiah, wonderful job. There's the scoop. Nate Sudfeld will play. We don't know about Jordan Howard. A year ago, these two schools played in Piscataway. Indiana began the game with an onside kick. This time they kick it away. And it'll go through the back of the end zone. Strong kick by Griffin Oaks, and it'll be a touchback.
Well, you mentioned they started last year with an onside kick, so you knew there was no way they would do it this year, because no coach in his right mind would do it 2 years in a row.
Only the former coach of Minnesota against Penn State not so long ago.
And that's why I'm up here with you, Eric.
But they worked both times,
They
right?
worked both times, yeah.
All right, here comes Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 2-3 on the year, 0-2 in Big Ten play. Chris Laviano is the sophomore quarterback out of Long Island. He has been wonderful at completing passes at a high rate. He completes 70% of his passes thrown. Four different tailbacks, more than likely we'll see action today for Rutgers. Laviano wants to throw, and that ball is knocked away. Good team defense played by Indiana. Take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance impact players when Rutgers has the football.
Well, where else to start than Leonte Carew? We already talked about. I think he's as good a wide receiver as there is any place. Josh Hicks, the running back, the leading rusher. Rutgers likes to run the football. And Nick Mangieri, the defensive end, 7 sacks on the year, really playing well.
Mangieri, 2 sacks last week against Penn State, 2 sacks the week before against Ohio State. Paul James gets moved out of the backfield. Laviano in the backfield by himself and throws his first completion. The catch is made by Charles Scarf. Scarf, one of 3 different tight ends that will play today for Rutgers. 3rd down and 4. This is an Indiana defense that is a lot different from what we've seen in years past in terms of making big plays, but still the scoring average, the rushing, the passing, all could be improved.
Yeah, you know, statistics, they don't look very good, but I'm going to tell you, watching film, this is a much improved Hoosier defense.
16 sacks, 7 fumble recoveries. They have been opportunistic. 3rd down and 4. It's a manageable 3rd down for Rutgers. Trying not to go 3 and out. Little dump off underneath. That'll be a 1st down grab. Coming over the middle, Leonte Carew. He's got a good body, 6'1", 215 pounds. 7-yard gain, and the chains will move.
Well, you can see they're giving him good time. He's making the decision. He's just waiting for Carew. If you're going to run a crossing route there, you know that Laviano's going to look down Carew, and if there's any chance to get it in there, he's going to stick it in there.
3 touchdowns a week ago against Michigan State for Carew. Paul James, the deep back behind the fullback. They give it to James. Barrels forward for 2, maybe 3. T.J. Simmons, junior middle linebacker, makes the tackle.
You know, James is in the game, and he was really having a fine year a year ago until he got injured. Another guy we talk about every week, he came to Rutgers as a walk-on from Glassboro, New Jersey, earned a scholarship, and if he's healthy, you know, he broke off a 72-yard run last week against Michigan State. Got caught from behind, but it was a good run.
5th-year senior. He has seen a lot. James remains in the game. 2nd down and 8. They feed him again. This time runs into a wall. Pushes it forward across the 40. T.J. Simmons in on that tackle as well. So we've seen a 3rd down and 4. Now we'll have a 3rd down and 6.
Well, I told you about that Indiana front. The defensive front of the Hoosiers is the strength of that defense. And a couple weeks ago, getting ready for the Ohio State game, that's what jumped out at me. They now have some guys physically that can stand up against good offensive lines.
The third down back for Rutgers, Justin Goodwin, number 32, checks into the game. Play clock down to 6. And another completion to Carew. And Carew crosses midfield, pushed out of bounds at the 43. His second reception, this one good for 16 yards.
Well, that's awful good execution. If you're the corner playing on Carew, you've got to honor his deep threat. He goes, he plants his foot, he comes back, and the timing by the quarterback was exceptional. Very well coached, executed play.
That catch for Leonte Carew, his 99th of his collegiate career. 2 third down grabs, both resulting in first downs on this drive. James doesn't get the handoff. Instead, Laviano keeps it, and it doesn't fool anyone. TJ Simmons brings him down, and that'll be a loss of a couple. Jonathan Crawford, that didn't fool him at all. True freshman safety was deep in that backfield.
And almost a critical mistake by Laviano. You know, when you're in trouble like that, tuck the ball away.
That'll be a 9-yard loss. Second down and 19.
On a play like that, if you've got a chance, throw it out of bounds. But if you can't, tuck it away.
Quick hitter, a little slant to Carew, his third catch of this drive. He just gets a handful of yards back. That'll be a 3-yard gain. Clyde Newton, the linebacker, with the quick tackle. They'll bring up third down and a bunch. That catch now is number 100 on the nose for Carew. Of those 100 catches, Coach, 25 of them have gone for touchdowns.
You know what that means? Throw to more. Indiana liberally substituting defensively. They talk about they like to keep their guys fresh.
3rd and 16. Janarian Grant scoots out of the backfield. They go the other way, and the pass is knocked down. Zach Shaw, the bandit, snipped it out. The 5th-year senior knocks the pass down. It'll bring up 4th down. That was interceptable.
You know, you talk about the bandit position, hybrid linebacker, defensive end. Nor the defensive coordinator, that's the guy that he coaches. And then they've got a linebacker coach, a defensive line coach, and 2 secondary coaches. A little unusual. 5 defensive coaches on that side of the ball.
Joey Roth. Low spinning kick. Mitchell Page is the returner. He urges everyone to get away from the football. And the ball, and the alums returning thrilled to see number 7 back on the field. Nate Sudfeld did not play last week against Penn State, but he's back out there now, Coach.
Yeah, and you know, you look at it, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the leadership that he brings to this offense is priceless.
Senior out of Modesto, California, dealing with an ankle injury, but he's going to give it a go. No Jordan Howard at tailback to start the game. Instead, it's Divine Redding. First pass is complete. Ricky Jones catches that laser beam, a pickup of 17 yards.
And no surprise, Rutgers comes with a blitz right away. They like to blitz all over the field, all down in distances.
See if Nate Sudfeld takes advantage of a couple of freshman corners that start for Rutgers. Sudfeld setting up a screen, gets it to Redding, out in space. And Redding shakes off the first tackler and bounces out to the 35. 7 yards for the sophomore Redding.
I think the important thing on that play is that you can see Sudfeld had some pressure. Looks like he's moving pretty good to me.
And look how quickly they get back to the line and make a decision. Mitchell Page with his first touch. He's shifty. He's got enough for the first down out to the 44-yard line.
Well, they run a lot of plays real fast. There's only one team in FBS football that runs more plays this year than Indiana.
Bowling Green.
There you go.
Not too far away. First down and 10. Couple of quick first downs for Indiana. 4-2 on the year, but those 4 wins came to begin the season. Losing last 2 weekends to Ohio State and Penn State. But everything coming up aces on this drive. Ricky Jones, his second catch. He now has 28 on the year. Take a look at our auto owners. Now, in a moment, we'll take a look at our impact players. He's come quickly with Sudfeld, particularly at quarterback. They try and go fast with Xander Diamont a week ago, but you just can't do the same things with a sophomore quarterback that you can with a senior quarterback. Sudfeld able to spin away from a would-be tackler. Wide open Page down to the 25.
What bad ankle? Watch Nate here. I've never seen him move better than this right here. Fresh legs. He hasn't played in a couple weeks. Good move. Anticipation. He gets it outside. Poise. Finds the receiver downfield. Awful good play by that quarterback.
Couple of receptions by Mitchell Page. Couple of catches by Ricky Jones. Also a catch by Divine Redding. Good start for the offense of Indiana. Redding on the ground, trying to get to the edge. He's got the edge and more. Inside the 15.
Everybody in a spread offense tries to get to the edge. Defense, you've got to contain. If they get the edge, it's almost always a big play.
Again, quickly back to the line of scrimmage. This is the speed that Indiana wants to play at. Redding, off right tackle, inside the 10 to the 7. Anthony Chaffee, safety, comes in along with Isaiah Wharton. This Rutgers defense wondering what's going on. This has been a really quick hitting drive. They're stunned right now. 5 different plays of 10 yards or more. This time, Redding is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Steve Longa, their best defender, came in and made the tackle. Indiana in the red zone. They have scored 88% of the time. They've had to settle for 7 field goals and scored touchdowns 14 times. 3rd down and 6. The line to get is the 3. And things weren't working out the way that Kevin Wilson wanted to. And they used their first timeout. While we have a timeout, let's talk about our Auto Owners Insurance impact players when Indiana has the football.
Well, this might be a first, but Dan Feeney, the offensive guard from Orland Park, Illinois. Coach Wilson says best football player we've got on the team. Ricky Jones, the wide receiver, averaging almost 20 yards a catch. And Steve Longa, the linebacker for Rutgers, man, he makes a lot of plays.
Now, Kevin Wilson is a former offensive lineman. His playing days at North Carolina. He knows a lot about line play. And when he says Dan Feeney is the goods, you trust him.
Yeah, and did you see that picture of Dan Feeney?
All neck.
Did you see that neck? I mean, if there's a guy that has a neck for an offensive lineman right there, that's it.
Feeney went to the same high school, South Suburban Chicago, that Michael Schofield went to, who was an all-Big Ten tackle at Michigan a couple of years ago, now plays the NFL with Denver. So they're breeding offensive linemen at Carl Sandburg High School in Orland Park.
Someone else is from there, too, is
Pat Fitzgerald.
There you go.
My goodness.
How soon we forget.
3rd down and 6. Divine Redding remains in the game at tailback. They fake it to him. Sudfeld to the end zone. Too high. Looking for Simi Cobbs. Well, Indiana raced down the field with their hair on fire, but they're going to have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, they did, and you see the play action, and then he goes to throw it, but that's good coverage. What I like about Rutgers right there in the end zone, in the red zone, make the receiver behind you. Don't get behind him where he can catch it in front of you for a touchdown.
Griffin Oaks has been solid. 9 for 10 so far in the year in field goal attempts. This will be a 26-yarder. Ooh, a difficult snap. Held beautifully, and the field goal is Sudfeld leading the charge, taking the Hoosiers all the way down the field before stalling. 10 plays, 81 yards. Not a lot of time taken off the clock, just 3:07, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you, they don't spend any time in between plays. You know, the whole thing for Kevin Wilson and this speed is to put that defense back on their heels, to continue to keep pressure on them, and in that drive, they surely did.
Janarian Grant has already returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns this year. Will he have an opportunity? halfway in the middle of the end zone. He takes a knee. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus studio update. Quick start. Thank you so much. Rick Pizzo does a bang-up job. Already 2 games in the books around the conference. Iowa going on the road, taking on Northwestern, and Wisconsin holding off Purdue up in Madison. Second possession for Rutgers. Delayed handoff. Out to the 29-yard line goes Josh Hicks. Pick up a 4.
I talked to Ben McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, about their run game. And the first thing he said was, you know, that's who we are. You know, that's the type of players that we have. That's our mentality. So we're going to lead with the running game. And if it's good, we're going to keep going. If it's not good, we're not going to give up on it.
Second down at 6. Toss sweep right side. Janarian Grant unable to get going. They try and get him moving. And he's caught close to the line of scrimmage. That's Josh Hicks. Tackled at the line of scrimmage for 3rd down.
Well, there's Ben McDaniel. You know, I've known him for a long time. He was a graduate assistant for me. Comes from a coaching family. His brother's the offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots.
And a whistle stops play. There's Don Willard, today's referee.
Time out of the half. Rutgers. 30 seconds in length.
So before 3rd down and 6, a timeout is called.
Look at that. You know, the thing about it, you see Ben and Josh, Tom's the dad. I knew him starting back when he was an assistant coach at Kent McKinley. Then he became the head coach. Then he was the head coach at Warren G. Harding High School up in Warren, Ohio, with the high school coach of Maurice Claret. But I knew those 2 guys when they were Rugrats, those 2 guys. And there they are. There's Tom and his beautiful wife, Chris. And I used to go over there for dinner. And someone asked me, they said, you know, did she make a mean steak? I said, no, it was casseroles back then. But I tried to tell you how things changed. I tried to hire Tom as my offensive coordinator when I got the job at Kent State. And I couldn't afford him. He would have to take a significant pay cut to leave Kent McKinley to come to Kent State.
What a special weekend it is for the McDaniels, getting a chance to see Ben, offensive coordinator, here with Rutgers, and then tomorrow, Josh McDaniel, obviously, Bill Belichick's right-hand man. Game will be played in Indianapolis. Pass is complete down the left sideline. Andre Patton, a good deep threat with that catch. That's a pickup of 40 yards on the nose.
Well, you know, there's a couple things. A good quarterback play. One is accuracy, one is touch, and the other thing is strength. You saw the touch that he put on that ball. He knew he had a man open behind the defender, and he laid it right in there.
Patton, his 14th catch of the year. Laviano found him for 40 yards. And for the second time, Rutgers crosses over the 50-yard line into Indiana territory. They went backwards after crossing over midfield. First time they had the football. Play clock down to 1. Hicks gets to the edge. Hicks loses the football, and it goes out of bounds. Chase Dutra knocked it away from Hicks. He's fortunate to have that ball go out of bounds, and Rutgers keeps the football.
I talked earlier about the turnover margin that Indiana has, +9, unbelievable. And, you know, Kevin Wilson talked about, you know, we've always been good at protecting the football. Now we're good enough defensively to cause some turnovers. Brian Norr, the coordinator, defensive coordinator, says, you know, we used to work on script drills. We don't do it anymore. We just work at getting to the football.
Faster team this year. More explosive team this year. Second down and 1. This is Robert Martin. Martin, touchdown, Rutgers. What an impressive drive for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They take it right to Indiana, and they put 6 on the board.
Well, that was awfully well blocked. There was no one on him, just a gap blocking scheme. Mitch Browning is their offensive line coach. He coached for me for 21 years, and I'm just saying that guy is as good a line coach in gap blocking schemes than anybody in the country.
Kyle Federico will attempt the extra point, try and put Rutgers up by 4. And he did 5 yards in less than 2 minutes, and that pleases Maurice Wilson back to being the running back coach. But the last 3 weeks, he was the acting head coach with Kyle Flood suspended.
Yeah, and Rutgers is new to the Big Ten, but Maurice, he's been around. He's from the Chicagoland area. He played football at the University of Minnesota, and he wasn't a running back.
He was the lineman, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, and a good one.
He should be proud of the way his team played a week ago. I know they didn't win against Michigan State, but that's a tough bunch to play. Spartans, well-coached and physical team, and they were tied. 2 minutes remaining in the game. They had the football and a chance to do some work, but just ran out of time.
Yeah,
they played hard for him.
They had a third down on offense that they converted before the field goal, and then there was a third down early in the last drive by Michigan State. They could have won the game.
This is a return out to the 22-yard line. Damon Graham. And Nate Sudfeld and the Indiana offense will touch the football for the second time.
Eric, contrast in two offenses. When you watch Rutgers, they do a lot of shifts, motions. You don't see Indiana do that. I asked Kevin Wilson, why doesn't he do that? He says, that would slow us down. And we're all about tempo. I like it. I know the advantage that it gives the offense over the defense, but we got to go fast, man.
81 plays is what they average per game. They went 9 plays on their first drive, and it took just a little bit more than 3 minutes off the game clock. Redding, he'll be the main ball carrier with Jordan Howard apparently not playing this afternoon. Jordan Howard, second consecutive week that he dressed and went through warm-ups, but is not playing as of yet. Sudfeld, another good completion. This time Simi Cobbs crosses over midfield, and Cobbs finally tripped up, but he gets all the way to the 43. 33-yard pitch and catch, Sudfeld to Cobbs.
That's what you would call a shoestring tackle. They get it to Cobbs. He throws a good route, runs a good route. He catches the ball in his hands and then uses his speed.
These receivers have been wide open. This is Mitchell Page, already 3 receptions for him. A short gain, Quentin Gauze with the tackle.
Well, again, you go back to what Kevin Wills talks about, the speed. You think about the dilemma for the defenses, trying to get the call, get lined up, find out what formation it is. You can see why at times guys are wide open.
Kevin Johns, highly thought of offensive coordinator. He dials up a run play here. Divine Redding is tackled. It'll bring up third down.
You mentioned Kevin Johns. He's an offensive coordinator. He's also the offensive line coach. I'm not really sure which one's more important. Probably the line coach, and he's done a fine job.
Sudfeld, little dump down. Redding has the football, but not the first down. A good, sure tackle was made. Davon Jacobs hadn't played in a couple of weeks, but he's back on the field. He's been missed. It'll bring up fourth down and a decision for Kevin Wilson. The decision appears to be made. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 3. Sudfeld escapes the tackle. Wide open man, it's the tight end. Michael Cooper down to the 3. A huge play on 4th down. 32 more yards for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, you got to go back to Sudfeld's ankle. I mean, he's moving around. Game time decision, and he looked like he was being sacked. He's got a lot more mobility than I think most people would think in this game.
2 plays of 30 or more yards on this drive for Indiana. Redding probing, looking, finding the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana. Divine Redding, touchdown number 6 on the year for him. Coming on for the extra point, Griffin Oakes. There's a low snap on the field goal a moment ago. This time a good snap, and Oakes gets the extra point to sail through. Here at Memorial Stadium, everything is divine for Indiana. Divine Redding, his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. Indiana's had the football twice. They put 10 points on the board.
Yeah, and what stands out so far, not to take anything, but anyway, is the quarterback, Nate Sudfeld. I mean, his ability to move around, under poise, find someone downfield. He took 2 potentially real bad plays and turned them into big gainers for Indiana.
Without Nate Sudfeld, Indiana mustered only 7 points. That was on the road a week ago against a very good defense in Penn State, but only 7 points in 60 minutes. They've already got 10 here in the first quarter. Another touchback. Now more football coming your way. Fox Sports 1 tonight. Going to take you out to the Pac-12. Arizona and Colorado. That'll be a 9 o'clock Eastern time start, only on FS1.
We talked to Kevin Johns about that performance offensively last week, and he said, you know, we got away game plan, what we're going to do, which caused our linemen not to be near as physical, and we violated a lot of principles. He says, we're going back to the basics this week against Rutgers.
Richard Fant lined up on that same side as Leonte Carew. Carew already with 3 catches in our first quarter. This is Robert Martin, had the touchdown run. Last time Rutgers had the football. He gets to the 26-yard line, a pickup of 1. Let's talk about how Rutgers, how they rank offensively. Middle of the pack, maybe the upper echelon to a small degree.
Yeah, they'd like to, they like to be better, and a little misleading there when you start thinking about a 70% completion type quarterback. You think that it'd be skewed a little bit more up in the conference.
Yeah, they lead the Big Ten in passing efficiency and completion percentage. Laviano under center. Quick hitter tries to get it to Carew, and it's almost intercepted. Dawson Fletcher, almost Johnny on the spot. Good defense played by Richard Fant.
Well, this is a staple, the slant route, and I can just tell you that they're playing Carew that tight. Before you know it, you're going to see what we call the sluggo, the slant and go.
Richard Fant, number 16, he now leads all of Division I football in passes broken up. That's the 12th pass he's broken up this year in the first 6 games. Just incredible. Third down and a bunch. Over the middle. Too late. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Janarian Grant. It'll be a 3 and out.
Well, anytime, and you think you're playing a team in Rutgers, they've only had 9 and 3 and outs the entire year coming in this game. So for them to get 3 and out right here, you see the pressure. You see Laviano just leaning away from that pass off the hands of the receiver. Good series for the defense.
Joey Roth kicks it away. Mitchell Page drifts back and makes the fair catch at the 28-yard line. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus studio update. Thank you, Rick. A lot of people are paying close attention to that one. Nate Sudfeld has thrown 1 incompletion. First 2 times Indiana has had the ball, 9 for 10. Already well over 100 yards passing. Mike Majette is now the tailback, number 24. True freshman running back. Incomplete. Ricky Jones had it for a moment, just couldn't secure the catch.
Let's go back to Nate Sudfeld for a second. I mentioned in the open that he was cleared to play last week against Penn State. And the coach, Coach Wilson, looked at him and said, you know what, I just don't think he's ready. Nate wanted to play. Trainer said he could play. Doctor said he could play. Coach says he's not playing.
Last week it was Xander Diamont getting the start. Xander Diamont is banged up. He is out of today's game. Crossing the middle, Simi Cobbs again. Tough to bring down. He's got another first down for Indiana. Bless on Austin, the tackle, but 16 yards for Cobbs.
Well, when you're facing a defense that likes to play man coverage, what do? You go to crossing routes and see if the defender can run with your wide receiver.
Quick hitter Page can't make that catch. The pass was behind him. Yeah, it seems like the common denominator for Indiana is these crossing routes, and the receivers are running around wide open.
Well, they don't play this exclusively man-to-man, but I'm talking about Rutgers, but they play a high percentage of it, and they like the blitz, so call the crossing routes.
Sudfeld, plenty of time. His pass is high and caught. It's caught. Simi Cobbs climbs the ladder and stays in bounds. Another first down.
Well, you'll see the throw. He gets up. Man, can he jump? Catches in his hand, gets his foot down. That's a catch.
They may look a little longer, but it looked like he did have that left foot securely in bounds. Well, the replay booth says play on, so we will. First down and 10, 1 minute remaining in our first quarter. Mike Majette speeds into the secondary. He's inside the 30. Majette rarely gets playing time. That's his second carry of the season. He picks up 11 yards. They give it to him again, this time to the 25. Majette out of Woodbridge, Virginia, 5'10", 201 pounds. They like him. He has just streaked up this depth chart.
I'm just amazed as a coach when I watch these offenses run these plays up tempo, the pressure they put on defense.
Indiana 4th in the Big Ten in scoring. They've already got 10 points, and they're closing in on the red zone right now. Second down and 5. Sweeping out of the backfield. This is Majette, full head of steam. He's inside the 20. Steve Longa, the tackle, but another first down.
What you don't see on that little swing pass, and it might look like that was his outlet. It wasn't, because the wide receiver was already chopping the defensive back downfield. They were going to swing pass, touch behind the line of scrimmage, legal play.
Let's see if Indiana wants to get off another play. Doesn't appear that they do. What a wonderful first period of play for the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana leading Rutgers 10-7. Coach, you noticed something on a play a moment ago for Indiana.
Yeah, watch all the variables on this play. This was a big gain to Cobbs, but they're going to come. They're going to hold it right there. They little pump fake the throw to that man on the bubble screen to get the corner to bite up and have Cobbs go deep for the takeoff. But the corner doesn't jump up, and Cobbs reads out of it for the comeback. I want to tell you, that is a well executed play. You have to run that over and over and over to execute it like that.
Sudfeld, the senior, Cobbs, the sophomore. They work well together. Cobbs, Jones, and Mitchell Page all have been sturdy, dependable receivers for Sudfeld here in 2015. We begin the second quarter. Indiana driving. It's their third possession, looking for points on all 3 possessions. They've made it inside the red zone. First down and 10. Mike Majette is the tailback. The dump down, set up beautifully. Majette, touchdown, Indiana. That is how you set up a screen. Just gorgeous design and play call and execution.
Well, we talked before, they like to bring a lot of pressure. Well, if you got a lot of pressure, either you got to block them or you run a screen. And if you have a guy blocking the man that's responsible for the back catching the screen, you walk into the end zone like that. Well executed. Mike
Majette, his first collegiate touchdown. Congratulations. Griffin Oaks, his extra point is true. And Indiana looking like the Indiana of old. They have 17 quick points, just 5 ticks into the second quarter.
Well, Indiana, this looks like, you mentioned the old Indiana. Offense has not been Indiana's problem. It's been defense. Let's not forget about the 3 and outs by that Hoosier defense. All of a sudden you start going, they start believing. You stop them, we'll score. Stop them again, we'll score again. That's what Kevin Wilson's offense, and that's what he's always dreamed about here down in Bloomington, that the Hoosiers would be.
And Coach, we talked about this for the last couple of days now. Kevin Wilson has never gone to a bowl game with this Indiana program. This is now his 5th year. They're at 4 wins. A win today gets him to 5. You need that magic number of 6, which becomes a real possibility with a lot of season remaining. This is an important win to get here at home.
Yeah, it is, and there's no doubt in my mind that Kevin Wilson has improved this Hoosier program. And just a revolving door. You heard me talk about results and hope. Just buying new hope every couple of years. If you don't get what you want, changing coaches isn't the way to go about it. This guy is making the program better.
Ball scopes through the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Janarian Grant, a huge factor in the return game, has been nullified because of the strong right leg of Griffin Oakes.
Talking about Kevin Wilson, though, when we have an opportunity to sit down with coaches, I always enjoy sitting down. I start asking them those coaching questions, like I was talking about the Bosches and the Shifts, and man, I get educated about offensive football every time I talk to that guy.
He's had some wonderful influences. He was at Northwestern with Randy Walker. His offensive coordinator, Kevin Johns, was there as well. Of course, many years doing great things with Bob Stoops out in Norman, Oklahoma. Delayed handoff. This is Paul James, who can't get going. He's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a pair. Nick Mangieri, we've been calling his name all season long. The senior from Peoria has been maybe the best defensive lineman in the conference. 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 passes broken up. He is always in the backfield, it seems like.
Yeah, he's a great guy to play on the edge, strong enough to play inside the tight end.
And he looks like Paul Bunyan. 2nd down and 12. Laviano's pass is complete. Trying to get Patton up and going, but a quick, sure tackle made by Richard Fant after a gain of 7. It'll bring up 3rd down. Leonte Carew caught 3 passes early in the first quarter. They go to him now on 3rd down. And I think a timeout's called by Indiana. So the Hoosiers have used up 2 of their 3 first-half timeouts. 13:50 remaining here in our 2nd quarter.
You mentioned that Rutgers went up-tempo there. They beat Indiana at their own game. Indiana had to call a timeout because they couldn't get the right people on the field.
Still in the first third of the season in Big Ten play. Take a look at the standings. Both Rutgers and Indiana in the East Division with those heavyweights. Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. It's always going to be a tough fight every single year.
Well, it is. And you look at the West Division, can there be any bigger surprise than Iowa in the Big Ten this year?
What a road win for them in Evanston against Northwestern. 3rd down and 5. Pressure picked up beautifully. Catch is made short of the 1st down marker. Justin Goodwin had no chance to go north. Marcus Oliver made sure of it. He and Richard Fant on the tackle. A loss of 3.
Now, when you blitz like they're doing right there, then you got to make sure you're playing tight coverage because you know the quarterback will not have the ball long enough to throw it deep. Well executed.
Joey Roth to kick it away. He's been busy. Oh, it's a fake. They give it to the up back. It's Sam Bergen. The fullback has the 1st down. Maybe that's the shot in the arm that Rutgers needs. Kyle Flood rolls the dice and it comes up aces.
Well, they bring the flanker in motion so he can crack, and they just snap the ball. Just like any defensive play, if you don't have anybody on the edge, you got problems, and that's why they got the 1st down.
That's why Sam Bergen stayed around Piscataway, a 6th-year senior, already graduated with an economics degree, getting a chance to make a difference. got that rare 6th year of eligibility. Been banged up and dealt with injuries the bulk of his time as a college player. Trying to get Carew out in space. Look at him run. Leonte Carew, one man to beat, and he beats him. Touchdown, Rutgers. It's that man again. Oh, that'll take the wind out of your sails. The 7th receiving touchdown of 2015 for Leonte Carew.
Yeah, we kept talking about the return of that guy right there, Coach Kyle Flood. I said, in all due respect, I don't care about Kyle Flood. It's number 4, Leonte Carew, that gets my attention.
Well, it was Kyle Flood who went for it on 4th down, called the fake punt that kept the drive alive. And instead of punting the football away, they're going to get 6, maybe 7 points. Extra point is blocked, so they won't get the 7. A blocked point after touchdown attempt, and that leaves it an Indiana lead of 4. Indiana leads Rutgers 17-13. Rod Carew is a singles hitter. Leonte Carew, he hits home runs.
Yeah, you wonder why this works? Watch this. Watch the block of the wideout, the right tackle, and the center. That's why he walks in. It's a thing called blocking. There's no one left. How's that for execution? Just like you draw it up on the chalkboard.
Leonte Carew has played as a wide receiver 27 times as a collegiate. He's got 26 touchdowns. Just amazing. 7th receiving touchdown this season. And remember, he was dealing with a suspension a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, fresh legs.
Spinning kick from the 5-yard line on the return. This is Graham. And Graham weaves out across the 30 before being tackled there. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus studio update.
Golf.
Thanks, Rick. Not sure which program needs a win more. Mike Riley's bunch, they've had some tough breaks this year. Minnesota scuffling as well, surprisingly.
Well, Nebraska's lost 4 games all on the last play of the game. Wow, that'll make you old real quick.
Nate Sudfeld has been sensational. Divine Redding back into the game, lowers the head, and picks up just a yard, maybe 2. Divine Redding from Youngstown, Ohio. There's been a lot of good football players coming out of Youngstown, Ohio over the years. Jordan Fuchs into the game as one of the tight ends. Another quick play. This time it's Graham with the catch. Damon Graham, the senior from Indianapolis.
Well, Isaiah Wharton did a heck of a job there. If you miss a guy, you miss him and make him go back inside where the pursuit is. Don't let him beat you outside.
Sudfeld able to get it away. It's complete to Simi Cobbs. That saved what would have been a negative play, but it's going to depend on the spot. It looks like they're a little bit short of the line to get. There is a Rutgers player down. It is Steve Longa who is down on the field for Rutgers. Junior linebacker who leads the team in tackles. He is their best defensive player.
Yeah, they come with the linebacker blitz. Everybody runs this linebacker blitz where you cross in the middle. That messes up all protection schemes and all gap schemes running.
Quentin Gauze, another linebacker, was converging on Sudfeld with Longa, and they collided. Hopefully Longa is okay. While we have a moment, let's check in with Rick Pizzo for a Lexus studio update. 3 consecutive shutouts for Michigan. This is a huge afternoon. People around the country figuring out, is this Jim Harbaugh team for real?
Well, you know, I think most of us thought that Harbaugh going into Ann Arbor would make the Wolverines better immediately. This much better, I'm not sure, but because Brady Hoke and staff, they recruited well, and when you watched them in person, they've got talent. He's just getting to play like they got talent.
Well, with Longa out, he's replaced by number 26 in white, Deontay Roberts, a true freshman linebacker, into the game. And on 4th down and 1, I don't know. Divine Redding just went straight forward.
That's this way. Let's go, man.
Let's take another look.
Ooh.
It was Eric Waif and Quanzel Lambert right in the middle of that line who wrapped up Divine Redding, and it's going to be Rutgers football. So I guess we need to go back. Coach, what do you think of the decision by Kevin Wilson to go for it on 4th down and 1?
Well, being it didn't work, I thought it was a bad decision like everybody else. But, you know, the way that they're playing offensively, I'm not sure that they really needed to do that this point in the game. Risky decision.
Well, they went behind the man that Kevin Wilson says is their best player. They went behind the left guard, or the right guard, Dan Feeney.
Well, and it takes 2, but you got to think, you know, I'm sure they went hurry up, figuring that Rutgers couldn't get the defense they wanted called in there, and because we talked at length to the Indiana coaches about Rutgers defense. They like to blitz, run blitz, pass blitz all over the field, and they had it called there. You see, they had the right call for the right situation.
And after official review, the ball is staying with Rutgers. Kyle Flood's team, they hold on a 4th down and 1, and now they get exceptional field position. They'll start on the 40-yard line.
And if you're Kevin Wilson, you're saying, come on, defense. Come on, but you know what? If we ever needed a turnover, we've been getting them this year. We need it right here. You got to save me.
Chris Laviano, sophomore quarterback out of Glen Head, New York. He's a Long Island kid. Play action fake. And just getting rid of it, throwing in the vicinity of Carew.
How many times do you see teams after a turnover, and when you stop someone on a 4th down, that's like a turnover, rather than going with your game plan, go for something big right away. The reason being, you figure that Rutgers can take the field, their attitude's going to be a little bit down, and you might catch them flat-footed.
Leonte Carew, bottom of your screen. Janarian Grant in the slot. Josh Hicks. Good tackle made. Jonathan Crawford. He has had his share of ups and downs, but a true freshman who has played a ton at safety, up to the task there. 3rd down and 7.
Well, when you see Jonathan Crawford invert that fast and make a tackle for that short a gain, you got to think about doing some passing, or the wide receivers got a crack on him.
Quick snap. Oh, wow, what a tackle. Beautiful play made on that corner by Rashard Fant. He sniffed it out beautifully and makes the tackle immediately on Janarian Grant.
They're playing aggressive. You think about Crawford, you think about Font right there. Pretty impressive defense.
Now another decision on 4th down. 4th down and 2, and it looks like Rutgers is thinking about going for it.
This one's a little easier than the one that Coach Wilson made the decision on.
What win we do have, this kick, if it was going to be a long field goal, would go into the wind. A field goal would be 49 yards, which is a little bit ambitious.
Let me go back and explain.
Time out of the half. Rutgers. 30 seconds in length.
Let me go back and explain what I talked about the wide receiver. Either you got to do some pass or you got to crack with the wide receiver when Jonathan Crawford's making the tackle at the line of scrimmage. For him to come that fast and not worry about over the top, that means the corner's man-to-man. So you crack and you bring the corner with you as you're blocking the safety. Actually block two guys with one.
So Rutgers calls the timeout. Both Rutgers and Indiana have used up 2 timeouts, and the offense remains on the field. 4th down and 2. What's the call here for the Scarlet Knights?
You know, I'd like some run-pass action by the quarterback, break and contain.
Empty backfield. Laviano by himself. He splits Goodwin, the 3rd down back, in the slot top of your screen. This is the pass to Goodwin. It's low and incomplete. Laviano squeezed it too long, and it's incomplete Indiana ball.
Yeah, Laviano, for being a 70% completion percentage, that ball was pitch and catch. That was a bad throw.
Well, the happiest guy in town, probably Kevin Wilson. He goes for it on 4th down in his own territory, doesn't get it, but then his defense forces a 4 and out.
Yeah, thank goodness for defense. No harm, no foul.
Nate Sudfeld has already thrown for over 200 yards. Sudfeld gets it off. Cobbs again to midfield. Simi Cobbs, a big first half. 17 yards on that reception.
How impressive is number 7, Sudfeld? He's always got someone around him, but he's oblivious to it.
Offensive coordinator Kevin Johns telling us yesterday he has really improved his arm strength in his 4 years here in Bloomington. A lot of times that doesn't really improve. You are who you are, but he's found some more velocity as a college player. Sudfeld wide open, Page! He's got it down to the 5. Mitchell Page was wide open.
If he did anything, he underthrew him a little bit. Big completion.
Another quick play call. Page has got it. And he skips out to the 5-yard line. Kai Hester on the tackle.
The true story in this game right now, though, is not Indiana's offense. We've seen them do this a lot. It's how the defense is responding. If they can get that defense to respond and keep the offense playing like this, they're awfully tough.
Andre Booker checks in at one of the receiver spots. Indiana has converted on all 3 trips into the red zone. Sudfeld, end zone, touchdown! He finds his tight end, Jordan Fuchs. Third touchdown of the first half for Indiana. They go 67 yards in 76 seconds. And that touchdown to Fuchs puts a smile on the face of Tom Crean. Fuchs helped out the basketball team when they were thin last year. Spent a couple of months playing basketball over there at Assembly Hall. What an athlete he is. Oaks, the extra point is good. 4th down a moment ago, getting the ball back to the offense. Nate Sudfeld has now completed 9 straight passes. Janarian Grant still now with an opportunity to run one out. Let's go down on the sideline, check in with Jeremiah Johnson standing by with James Blackman Jr. Jeremiah.
Eric, the entire IU basketball team recognized a short time ago. Practice has already been underway for a little over a week. James, how has practice been going for the Hoosiers?
Practice has been going great. You know, we've just been competing with each other, trying to get each other ready for a big season coming up.
Hoosier Hysteria, October 24th. That's a day fans always look forward to. Do you look forward to it?
Definitely. It's a time for the fans to get a chance to see us. It's a time to show what we got and to get the season kicked off.
James Blackman Jr., expectations are high for the Hoosiers this basketball season.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Glenn Mason, I know you're a big hoop guy. James Blackman can score. One of the best scorers in the entire country, not just the conference. Trying to get back on the beam, Andre Patton with the catch. Good gain on first down. That'll move the sticks, pickup of 11.
Yeah, that becomes frustrating for any quarterback or coach. This pass that he makes is 100 times harder, more difficult than the one he missed on fourth down. Go figure.
Chris Laviano completes 70% of his passes. Martin scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Barrels out close to midfield. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus studio update. That's a quick first half. Thank you, Rick. We still have more than 8 minutes remaining in our first half. Both Rutgers and Indiana have burned 2 timeouts here in the first 22 minutes. Laviano, play fake, open man, he found him. Another catch across the middle for Andre Patton. He's been the featured guy on this drive, 20 yards for Patton out of Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, a lot of people will say, you know, how does a guy get that wide open? If you come with some sort of zone blitz, you're putting pressure on, but leaving areas open. If the quarterback can find it, that's how it looks.
11 for 17 with a touchdown pass to Leonte Carew. Laviano, good feet in space, man open, and the pass behind Patton. If Patton was able to turn around a little bit better, that had a chance to be a touchdown, but Sun could have been a factor too, Coach.
Yeah, this is what I call a playground play. You know, the thing about it, if you're down in the playground and just a bunch of guys and choose them up teams and you miss the pass like that, man, you're saying to the quarterback, your buddy, man, you got to put that on the money. Come on. Either that or I'll go play quarterback and you play receiver.
Rutgers has played 2 conference games. They lost at Penn State. And last week at home, they battled Michigan State to the wire and came up a touchdown short. Out in space, look at this. Again, Robert Martin, touchdown! What a move at the 5. Second rushing touchdown for Martin. This scamper, 30 yards to pay dirt.
Well, I think I jinxed the Hoosier defense. I was bragging on them, and they went from playing really good defense to really poor defense. You keep talking about it. Any defensive coach will tell you that the first thing you have to do is put an edge on the defense, which means you got to contain who's ever got the ball. There was no edge there.
Cal Federico missed an extra point earlier off the hold of Joey Roth to make it a 4-point game. Oh, it's blocked! There are flags down on the field. There are flags down on the field. Kyle Flett and Rutgers.
Offside. Defense, number 16. Unless half the distance to the goal. Play a try.
That's the first penalty of the game.
Football on BTN is presented by U.S. Cellular. With U.S. Cellular, now the middle of nowhere is the middle of anywhere. U.S. Cellular.
It has been an offensive shootout here at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. The touchdown by Robert Martin a moment ago makes it a 24-20 game. Indiana on top of Rutgers. We've had 11 total combined drives today. 7 have resulted in points. And 4 times has someone had the football and not been able to score. Halfway through our second quarter, low spinning kick. And that one will make it in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Let's take a look at today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game. It's senior tight end Anthony Corsaro. He is a business entrepreneurship and corporate innovation major. Twice he's been academic All-Big Ten. He was a former walk-on who earned a scholarship. He comes from a great high school football program and basketball program for that matter. Cathedral High School in Indianapolis. Out in the community reading to kids and just trying to be involved. Anthony Corsaro, he has made the most of his time as a college player. Congratulations to him. The United States Marine Corps leader of the game. Nate Sudfeld, senior quarterback from Modesto, California. Good protection. Out in space, this is Griffith. Check that, it's Graham. Damon Graham with another catch. Graham, like Corsaro, began his college career as a walk-on, now on scholarship. Kevin Wilson, himself a former walk-on at North Carolina that earned a scholarship, really believes in the walk-on program. Simi Cobbs, another good two-handed catch, and Cobbs to the 44.
Yeah, you're lucky here. Watch this ball being thrown. Tipped a little bit, and it's hard for a wide receiver to keep that concentration with his eyes when all of a sudden you get that changeup ball rather than the fastball.
Officials timeout. Chain is broken.
Uh-oh.
That's a new one. That's a new one, isn't it? Broken chain.
That won't happen 50 years from now. I'm convinced they will come up with a better way. Doesn't there have to be a better way?
Some things never change, like school buses. How have school buses changed? Right. Chains don't. You know, I mean, certain things just don't change.
How about this? Nate Sudfeld has now gone over 300 yards passing. Hey, there's good news. Steve Longa is back on the floor. He was out, looked like he was significantly injured, but apparently he is okay. Back playing his linebacker spot. 3-year starter out of Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Divine Redding to the 40-yard line. Sudfeld goes down. Wonderful team defense. Anthony Chaffee picks up the sack, and it'll be Rutgers football.
Well, just as you might anticipate, Rutgers dials up another blitz coming on after him, and if he's going to throw it, he's going to have to throw it quick, and if they don't pick up the protection, he's got real problems.
That's the second time that Indiana's been stopped on downs. The combined blitz of Longa and Chaffee stopped Sudfeld.
Well, last time that Rutgers stopped Indiana on 4th down, they got the ball back. They went for a deep play right away. See what they do this time.
Number 34, Paul James, in at the tailback spot. They give it to him. And James is swarmed. Ralph Green III credited with that tackle for a loss. It's a loss of 1. Here's our game summary. Lots of points scored. Robert Martin has only touched the football 4 times. He scored 2 touchdowns rushing. Nate Sudfeld has missed on only 3 of 24 passes. He's thrown for over 300 yards. Just incredible. I'm assuming if he throws for 600 yards, that'd be some kind of record. Trying to set up a screen. They get it to James. James to midfield. It'll bring up 3rd down. Marcus Oliver, the tackle.
Well, you got to credit Oliver for beating the crack block right there, because if he doesn't beat that block, that ball's going to go a long way down the sideline.
3rd down and 5. Hoosiers looking for a stop. Leonte Carew is in the slot. He's been relatively quiet over the last couple of possessions. Oh, dangerous pass. Almost intercepted. That could have been a pick 6. Richard Fant is going to be credited with breaking up that pass.
How many times have you heard me say that when a quarterback throws into the flat to the wide side of the field, you know where the receiver is. Don't worry about that. You got to know where the corner is.
Did Fant touch that football? Yes, he did. So he'll be credited with his 2nd pass broken up in today's game. He leads the country with 13 passes broken up.
If it would have been a good pass, it would have been a pick 6.
Joey Roth He's going to get that one down inside the 5. Joey Roth has really turned in to be a reliable punter for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Joey Roth pins Indiana back deep. Well, next Saturday, B10 has more football action for you. The Illini, they're going to host the Badgers in a game in Champaign. That's an important West Division matchup. Illinois not playing this week, so Bill Cubitt's bunch resting up, lying in wait. Coverage starts 3:30 Eastern time. That's next Saturday on BTN and BTN to go. Now somehow we've gone 3.5 minutes of game time, Coach, without any points being scored.
Truly amazing. They're slowing down. How important is field position? We're going to find out.
Out of his own end zone, Sudfeld had a receiver there. He threw it at the shoe tops of his back, so it's not intentional grounding.
For intentional grounding. Number 23 was in the area, second down.
Eric Waif on that pressure.
Well, he's in his own end zone. You got to be careful, and he feels the pressure coming, and that's just a heads-up play. He knows he's got a eligible receiver. He throws it at his feet. He knows he's not going to catch it, but he's not going to get a penalty.
Jarius Adams remains in the game at one of the corners. He replaced Blesson Austin last possession. They'll run it out of the end zone. Alex Rodriguez getting playing time. We've seen Rodriguez, we've seen Wilson, we've seen Majette, and of course we've seen Redding. So a lot of different action from tailbacks replacing Jordan Howard. Stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Dave, Jerry, and Howard along in our Chicago studios, the scores, highlights, and news from around the Big Ten. Stanley Jackson's in the mix as well. Former Ohio State quarterback, calls him like he sees him. 3rd down and 2.
Jackson, I tried to recruit him to Kansas.
He's a New Jersey guy.
Absolutely, Patterson, New Jersey.
A New Jersey guy got out of your tentacles. How'd that happen? First man through, that's Rodriguez. Has enough for the first down.
I tried to recruit him to Kansas, and his high school coach was an Ohio State graduate. Lou Mathis, one of the finest.
I think it's amazing how Kevin Wilson trusts all of these different backs. It's not just Divine Redding. He's used a whole stable of runners.
The ruling on the field is the runner made the line to gain. Plays under further review.
Alex Rodriguez, redshirt freshman from Indy. They're going to take a longer look to see where he was down with the football.
You know, while we're waiting, you always got to think ahead as a coach. We saw how Rutgers has really been squeezed on the passing plays by the defense of Indiana. I'd be amazed if the next time they get the ball, I'm talking about Rutgers, that they don't go downtown. Maybe a pump fake, whatever, but go downtown. You got to loosen them up a little bit.
Your generosity enhances the traditions of IU's 24 versus sports.
Right there.
Yeah, his knee went down apparently like on the 12-yard line, but the ball was stretched further. The ball looks like it made
the 13
and a half. Yeah, 13 and a half maybe.
Darn shadows.
It looks like the ball is spotted though on the 14th, so they may bring it back just a smidge.
Could you define smidge?
Less than a yard.
Okay. I'm just curious. Your command of the English language never ceases to amaze me. You see those glasses he has on, Coach Wilson? Those are the glasses he was trying to sell you on?
Yeah, he had those yellow glasses on that he says helps kind of bring his world into focus.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Indiana.
It's the blue light of computer screens are affecting his vision and his team's vision.
He says he watches us on Big Ten Network at night with those glasses on. I don't know if that was a compliment or not. My heart on the eyes?
2:59 remaining. First down is indeed picked up by Alex Rodriguez. He remains in the game. Rodriguez came into this game with just 2 carries. Clock is running. Indiana in no hurry right now. They had to burn 2 timeouts early in this half. good for Steve Longa. That's what he does. If he's got you in the sights, you're going down. 275 career tackles coming into this game, 32 consecutive starts.
He's a good, doesn't he make a lot of tackles? He's a good tackler.
Sudfeld, a dart at the shoe tops, looking for Ricky Jones. That was a bounce pass that Tom Crean would have approved of. 3rd and 9. Leon Thornton checks in at one of the receiver spots. 2 consecutive incompletions for Sudfeld. Incomplete. Good defensive hand. Isaiah Wharton, redshirt freshman cornerback from Kissimmee, Florida, makes it 4th down.
I love the chess game. You saw where Rutgers lined up. They gave a blitz look. They made the check on offense. As soon as he did, they dropped back to a 2-deep safety. Perfect defense for that call.
First time we have had Eric Toth come on to punt the football. And look out for Janarian Grant. Already 1 punt return this year for Rutgers. Returnable kick. Grant goes down immediately. Good special teams play for Indiana. Indiana, they'll have the option to receive the kick in the second half. They won the coin toss to begin the game and elected to start on defense. All right, let's see if Chris Laviano reestablishes a connection with Leonte Carew on this drive.
Well, what you don't want to do is make a mistake now, and you're in the ball game, you're down by 4, a little over 2 minutes to go in the game. Just don't do something foolish right here and give this high-powered Hoosier offense good field position.
Justin Goodwin into the game. They give it to Goodwin. And he's tackled close to the line of scrimmage. Let's check in with Jeremiah Johnson for more on the Indiana defense.
Eric, the Indiana defense has held opponents scoreless in the 3rd quarter in 5 of their 6 games, outscoring opponents 58-14. But I talked to Brian Knorr before the game, and he said the main thing is to button up our defense on those last couple possessions of the 2nd quarter. Here we are.
A big opportunity to get a stop and keep Rutgers at bay. That's Archie Diacono with the catch. It'll bring up 3rd down. And we were impressed talking with Brian Knorr, 2nd year as the defensive coordinator. He's been happy with the effort, particularly of his defensive line this year. Nick Mangieri and Zach Shaw have been doing real good things. Not a lot of pressure on this 3rd down. Pass is complete, and it'll be enough for the 1st down. Grant with a catch, pickup of 6.
Pass is the number 1, Grant.
Just a little crossing route. He dumps it out. Good job by the receiver. Make sure he gets enough yardage for 1st down and stop the clock while they move the chains.
Closing in on the 1-minute mark. Rutgers with just 1 timeout to work with. Laviano wants to run. Gives himself up at the 35. Remember, it was Laviano and Rutgers who had difficulty with a 2-minute drill last week at home against Michigan State. Lost track of the amount of downs. Nick Archidiacono, his 2nd catch, close to the 1st down marker. They give him the 1st down. Clock stops temporarily. Laviano gets it away, caught by Archie Diacono. Good catch. Clock continues to move, and now a timeout call.
3rd and final charge. Timeout of the half.
There's the final timeout called for Rutgers.
30 seconds in length.
Yeah, he does a good job there. He throws off balance, throws it a little high again, but good reception. I'm impressed how they move the ball. Like I talked about, you want to move the ball, but you don't want to do anything foolish. Everything they did was pretty high percentage, and let's credit the offensive line because they really haven't let anybody near the quarterback. They've had a little bit of pressure, as you saw right there, but there's no one grabbing them.
Yeah, that's surprising for Indiana. They came in with 13 sacks over the last 3 games. Nick Mangieri and Zach Shaw both with 2 sacks a week ago on Christian Hackenberg over in Happy Valley against the Nittany Lions. There's Nick Mangieri. Wonderful takeoff at the line of scrimmage. He just gets to where he wants to go in a hurry. And when he gets there, pretty strong man, 6'5", 275 pounds. Second down and 2. To the end zone. Touchdown! It's that man again, Leonte Carew. Simply amazing how he gets open and finds the end zone. 23-yard touchdown, and Rutgers takes the lead.
Yeah, and as a coach, you're thinking, how could you leave that guy open? Roll somebody up, play someone over the top. He's their big play guy.
Over the last 6 quarters, he's had 5 receiving touchdowns. A lot of offense here in the first 30 minutes in Bloomington, Indiana. 27-24, Rutgers leading Indiana. Spinning kickoff into the sun. And it'll be returned out to the 37-yard line. How about Leonte Carew and another touchdown?
I told you this guy was good, but watch, he's got press coverage. He beats the man, and he really beat. And let's face it, the corner got beat, but where is the safety? That safety's got to go over the top of that. Looked like they're playing 2-man to me. And
the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 17 seconds, please. 17 seconds, please.
Just amazing. Already over 100 yards.
Thank you.
For his career, the 2 touchdowns this afternoon give him 27 in 27 games.
Yeah, that corner had help over the top and the safety, and he got caught flat-footed.
Nate Sudfeld, I'd imagine, will not be too frisky. 16 seconds remaining in our first half. Safe play call. They put it into the chest of Alex Rodriguez. And that will do it for our first half of play. And Nate Sudfeld had the parade last night in a football game that's got a whole bunch of offensive fireworks through the first 30 minutes. Let's go down to the field and check in with Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah.
What a first half, Eric, and that's what Coach Flood was mentioning when he walked off the field at the end of the second quarter. He said both teams are making great plays, but his team needs to limit the big plays. Kevin Wilson, on the other hand, said pretty much the same thing. Too many big plays. He liked his team's swagger. He talked about that all week. Both coaches talked about Nate Sudfeld as well. Coach Wilson saying he's not full tilt. The Hoosiers need to be smart, but he's doing a pretty good job. And Coach Flood referenced he looked pretty good breaking away from a couple of sacks. Said he looks pretty good to me.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Let's take a look at how Sudfeld compares with Laviano in our Quicken Loans quarterback comparison.
Well, you know, you look at it, we're really seeing 2 very well-played games by quarterbacks, but Nate Sudfeld, if he's not 100%, I'd hate to see him when he is. Look at it, both guys throwing 2 touchdowns, but Sudfeld over 300 yards and a half. Wow.
The record holder for passing yards in a game, Ben Chappell for Indiana, did it back in 2010 against Michigan. That record is in the crosshairs. Take a look at the first half possessions for Indiana. Twice they had to turn it over on downs.
Yeah, other than that, they're flawless. And hey, the thing about it, there's 2 ways to coach. You can coach not to lose. You can coach to win. Obviously, Kevin Wilson's coaching this game. He's pulling all stops out. It might have to do with what we talked about. The rumor all over the place is that you've got to get to a bowl game. He's in his 5th year. You haven't been to a bowl game year. And obviously, a win today against Rutgers would help his chances to be able to go someplace during the holidays.
Indiana had a 4-0 start for the first time since 1990, but then they lost 2 consecutive games trying to get a home win here against Rutgers. Damon Graham on this return gets to the 20 and no more. Good special teams play made by Rutgers. And Indiana, they'll have the football. Nate Sudfeld leads the Big Ten in passing yards per game at 255. He blew past that. He's got 301 right now. Didn't play it all a week ago in the loss against Penn State. Divine Redding has been getting the bulk of the carries, with Jordan Howard dressed but not playing. Sudfeld, plenty of time, throws a dart complete to Page. Mitchell Page, he now has 6 catches, and he's over 100 yards. So both Page and Cobbs have broken the century mark.
Yeah, with this offense and that type of quarterback, you can't give him that amount of time, because you can see he can put it right into there, that tight window.
Another pass play, another quick, should have been caught. Ricky Jones dropped a catchable ball in the first half, now drops a catchable ball here in the third quarter. You see the pace at which Indiana wants to play at. This is the style of offense they want. Chuck and duck. In space, Redding, full head of steam. He's got the first down. Finally tackled by Wharton.
Well, you know, Kevin Wilson's got to have a lot of plays to get rid of it quick because of all the pressure that Rutgers likes to bring, and that's just one of them right there.
Redding another touch. Inside the 40 to the 39. Just a reminder, Rutgers is playing without one of their best cornerbacks. Blesson Austin was injured in the second quarter. We've seen a lot of Jarius Adams, true freshman corner out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Sudfeld looking for a bunch, has Jones. He's got it, touchdown. There's a flag down on the field, but more than likely this is going to hold up. Sudfeld to Jones. And wouldn't you know it, they were taking advantage of the new cornerback into the game, that touchdown catch against Jarius Adams.
Pass interference. Defense number 25. The penalties declined. The result of the play. Touchdown.
Well, you see Ricky Jones, he's already had 3 touchdown passes in the season, over 50 yards. He's got the ability to go deep, and
third throwing touchdown for Nate Sudfeld. He now has 44 in his career. He is one away from tying Ben Chappell for second all-time at IU. Well, what a day for Nate Sudfeld.
Well, that scoring drive for Indiana was just too easy. We always talk about the first series after halftime is so important. Well, there's no doubt who won that battle, the Hoosiers.
Now, we knew that Jarius Adams would play. He is the third cornerback. He rotates in, but he's going to play every single down for the rest of this game with Blesson Austin out.
Young guy from Palm Beach Dwyer High School. Jack Daniels is his high school coach.
Is that true?
Very
you mentioned
true.
that the other day. I kind of thought you were pulling my leg.
No. Jack Daniels is he's been there a long time. Great coach. Great program down there.
And Ricky Jones also from South Florida. Yeah, I guess not too far south. He's from Sarasota. You call that Central Florida, maybe?
That would be north of Palm Beach on the other coast, isn't it?
It's in Florida.
It's in Florida. Yes, it is.
Nate Sudfeld from the other part of the world. He's a California guy. He's from Modesto. Already a career high in passing yards, 374. We have had 4 lead changes. Grant, so dangerous, gonna bring it out. And he's tripped up, can't get back to the 20. Indiana's done a good job of bottling up the dangerous Janarian Grant. That was Donovan Hale, true freshman from Largo, Florida, on the special teams tackle.
Well, I mentioned before for Rutgers, as tight as some of the coverage was by Indiana's defense. You got to loosen them up. You got to back them up. You got to go deep.
Take a look at these first half possessions for Rutgers. They have 4 touchdowns. And Coach, you're not going to believe this. They have yet to enter and run a play in the red zone. All of their touchdowns have been of the long distance variety. Chris Laviano fakes a handoff. Well, he actually gives it off and doesn't work very well. Josh Hicks is wrapped up and tackled at the line of scrimmage. Darius Latham on the tackle.
Well, you always talk about what happens when a team scores and it becomes back and forth. How do you counter? You saw how Indiana countered to the late touchdown by Rutgers before the half. Now, can Rutgers counter what just happened to them by Indiana?
Hicks goes in motion. Pass is incomplete. There is a flag down on the field. Newton and Simmons collide to put the Malachi crunch on Matt Flanagan.
Offside. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
And I mentioned the great takeoff of Nick Mangieri.
You know, there's a lot of things that drive you crazy as a coach. That's one of them, when you line up offsides. Man, you got to look in at the ball, you know.
Mangieri does not have a sack today. 2 sacks a week ago against Penn State. 2 sacks 2 weeks ago against Ohio State. Again, Hicks nowhere to go. It's Latham again. They better try a different man. You can't get past him.
Well, credit that Hoosier defense. You can see they're controlling the line of scrimmage. Marcus Oliver stepping up there, staying square, getting under pads, low man wins. That's good run defense.
Latham, a junior out of Indianapolis. He's been rock solid all year. 3rd and 8. Low pass looking for Patton. Covered by Andre Brown. And the punt team will come on. It's a 3 and out.
Yeah, 3 and out. And you're talking about a Rutgers team that prior to this game had been exceptional. 3 and out. They only had 9 3 and outs on the season coming into this game. And they're playing a defense here by Indiana that comes in a lot of criticism. They did a good job a number of times, 3 and outs this game.
Rutgers ran a successful fake punt in the first half. That changed their fortunes. Low kick. Mitchell Page is going to get away from it. Jet behind him. The Jet got a handful of first half carries, his most extensive playing time as a college player. And the Jet. Big hole. Loses the football. Oh, young fella, never a good idea. Steve Longa punched it loose, but it goes out of bounds.
Well, they had the right play call because here comes Rutgers with a blitz, but they ran away from the blitz.
Fumble forward out of bounds. Back to the spot of the fumble. It is short of his line to gain. Second down.
Pickup of 9, 2nd and 1. Majette stays in the game. Page. First down to the 43. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus Studio update. Connor Cook has always been really good in big games. Already has won 3 different bowl games. This is the equivalent of a bowl game for Michigan State and for Michigan. First down and 10. Nate Sudfeld has thrown for 3 touchdowns already. Sudfeld, tons of time, has a man, it's caught. Page to the 25. Page and Cobbs well over 100 yards.
A lot of things are impressive about Sudfeld, but how he keeps his eyes down the field and knows what kind of touch to put on the ball.
Majette. Maybe they found something in Mike Majette. He's got to burst once he gets his hands on that football.
Well, in all those zone plays, what you have to do, you start this stretch and then have a little patience and then stick your foot in the ground and go north and south.
On 2nd and 4, Majette inside the 5. Spun down at the 2-yard line.
You know, Tevin Coleman, the former great running back, is here. When I used to watch him, he wasn't really good at those plays because he was so fast. he didn't have the patience to let that play develop.
First down and goal. It was Anthony Chaffee that saved a touchdown momentarily. And Majette's not their biggest back. Goal line situations, they like to use Divine Redding. Let's see if he'll check in now. Quanzell Lambert on that tackle. And Majette is going to go to the sideline. Nate Sudfeld, 44 career touchdown passes, one more, and he will tie Ben Chappell for second all-time in IU history. The leader is Kellen Lewis at 48. That's not going to last very long. Trying to get in. No signal yet. Nope. Down short of the end line is Andrew Wilson. So they're trying everyone except for Divine Redding. 3rd down and goal. Sudfeld keeps it and he'll stroll in. Touchdown, Indiana. Their second one of the second half. There is a flag down.
Defense, number 93, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
So the lead is 10, possibly 11, pending the extra point.
You know what really impresses me? They run the second down play. They don't get it in, and how fast they called that play with Sudfeld keeping in their total surprise.
Griffin Oaks to make it an 11-point lead. It has been all Indiana here in the second half. They scored 2 touchdowns while Rutgers has only ran 3 plays. He has been sensational, a new career high passing. Sudfeld has thrown for 398 yards, and we still have a whole bunch of game remaining, close to 25 minutes left. Janarian Grant watches it sail through the back of the end zone. Well, we had record-setting performances a year ago. Tevin Coleman in the game against Rutgers in Piscataway, close to unstoppable. Glenn Mason, he ran for over 300 yards.
307 yards to be exact. The one thing about him, he had world-class speed. If he got by you, he was gone. So long.
Now with the Atlanta Falcons, he is back here for homecoming. Falcons playing on Thursday, losing for the first time in the 2015 season. Lost against the Saints, but Tevin Coleman is here, and we will see what's going on in his life in just a moment. Only 7 yards this quarter for Rutgers. They need some offense. Pass is complete to Patton, and the tackle is made. Let's check in with Jeremiah.
It is a happy homecoming for Tevin Coleman. He did the coin toss before the game. You played the Thursday night game. So first things first, Tevin, how is your rookie NFL season going?
All's going good. I mean, it's a lot of things to learn from as in being a rookie, but it's going real good for me.
We saw a highlight of your 307-yard performance against Rutgers last season. What do you remember about that game?
I mean, I just remember they was giving it to me a lot. I had like 30 carries. I mean, I was just making big runs. So, I mean, it was a good memory.
We asked Kevin Wilson about you yesterday, and he said your talent level was good, but what he remembers without a doubt was the way you practiced. Said you and Adrian Peterson were the two that stand out to him that practice. Every day you brought it.
Yeah, definitely. Even though, as in me being hurt during the time, I still wanted to practice. I still wanted to play. So, I mean, I practiced real hard, and I came out here and did what I had to do.
Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Kevin Wilson has made a point out of recruiting Chicago hard, and he got Tevin Coleman to commit out of Chicago. Just one of a number of really good players that have come out of the Chicagoland area. Third down and short, quarterback keeper. Laviano has the first down.
Well, Rutgers on second and short went with a waist down play. Incomplete. They came back quarterback sneak. And, you know, I like the call when you're struggling offensively and everybody might think, oh, they're just going to pick up the first down. You have enough confidence in that line that if you don't get it, you come back with something basic and pick up the first down.
Robert Martin had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Picks up 3 yards. Sean Hefford on the tackle.
Well, momentum definitely has gone with Indiana in the second half, but there's still so much time left, Eric, like you mentioned. So this is no position for Rutgers to push the panic button. Keep doing what you're doing offensively. Just keep moving the chains, and then if they overplay, you hit a big play, and then hopefully play some better defense.
Play action. Oh, dangerous. It's intercepted. Marcus Oliver's got the football. Laviano threw it up for grabs. He was pressured, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, bad things happen when you throw the ball in the flat. If you don't have a clean open wide receiver, know where the corner is, and when you have people hanging all over you and you have to double clutch it, don't throw that pass.
In his young career, Marcus Oliver has made a lot of big plays. The coaching staff, they love him. Sophomore linebacker out of Hamilton, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. First turnover on the day. Indiana with a short field. They give it to Majette, and Majette skips down inside the 30.
Good line blocking. Look at the size of that hole. Credit the interior of the line, both guards and center. And man, he's getting to the safety so fast. That safety's got to be thinking, what's going on up front?
They may have found a new star in Mike Majette. True freshman out of Woodbridge, Virginia. He had all of 1 carry coming into this afternoon's game. But he's been the workhorse since the second quarter. 7 carries, 61 yards for Majette.
You know, let's not forget, we talked about the size of the hole up there. When we talked to Kevin Johns about his offensive line, he said, you know, we had been playing real well, and we talked about this before, up to last week. And basically, I think he says we as coaches messed him up. Gave him too much to think about, tried to do this, tried to do that, not what we're about. We're going back to what we do, and we're going to concentrate on fundamental football, and man, are they getting it done right now.
Yeah, that line of Spriggs, Martin, Jake Reed, Dan Feeney, and Dimitri Camille opening up huge holes for Mike Majette.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of guys. We talked about Dan Feeney, best player on the team, Kevin Wilson says. I haven't heard head coaches say that very often, and we've talked a lot about Jason Spriggs, who's a good player. Kevin Wilson says could even be better, but they got talent up front.
Yeah, Jason Spriggs is starting for the 41st time this afternoon. Left tackle out of Elkhart. That play was almost blown up from the get-go, but Majette makes something out of it. Oh, and he's still down all the way to the 5. That should have been a loss.
Yeah. That's what I used to call a Houdini run right there, you know? He just kind of disappeared and came out the other end.
If that should have been tucked in a little tighter, that's a touchdown. Majette stays in the game. He's rushed for 66 yards this quarter. Well, he's not quite the goal line runner they want him to be yet.
Yep. Would they do it again the way they're running the ball right up the middle? Would they call the quarterback's number and let him just dance in the end zone with that bad ankle and all that red tape around his ankle? I like that look. Looks good.
Second down and goal. Sudfeld, slant, caught, touchdown. Jordan Fuchs, his second TD today. The lead is 17 for Indiana.
Everybody wants to talk about play calling. It's the execution of the play call. And today, you're seeing this Hoosier offense executing. Kevin Wilson's got to be smiling on the sideline.
Oaks continues his perfect day. Big attraction. Parade last night. And a great football game for the locals so far this afternoon. Jordan Fuchs, couple of touchdown passes. 4 touchdowns thrown by Nate Sudfeld and maybe a budding star and Mike Majette at tailback. 3 touchdowns in 7.5 minutes to begin this second half for Indiana. Another touchback. Tonight, the final drive brings you all the scores, stories, and highlights from around the Big Ten. The final drive presented by FanDuel tonight at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on BTN. Already today, finals from Evanston, where Iowa remains perfect. They take down Northwestern, and Wisconsin holding off Purdue in Madison.
And looks like we got a heck of a game going in the Twin Cities while we're here down in Bloomington. And we've already talked about Ann Arbor, and if there was ever a time when they need to mount some effort here, Rutgers is right now.
It's been a difficult third quarter for the Scarlet Knights. Paul James swarmed. We've been saying Darius Latham's name quite a bit. Latham and Ralph Green combined on that stop. Now, does Rutgers need to change their urgency or their pace? 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
You know, I think they do, because that inside running's just not working for them.
High pass, trying to get it to Carew. We haven't mentioned Leonte Carew's name here in the third quarter.
And let's go back right before the half when they opened it up and were aggressive and they hit Carew going down the sideline. He's a big play guy. You know, you just can't keep throwing slants to him. Go ahead and see if they can defend the deep route.
Third down and long has been disastrous for Rutgers. And they're facing third down and long here. It's third down and 9. Laviano in trouble. Throws it deep, trying to make a play. It's tipped and incomplete. Carew was actually behind the last defender, but Chase Dutra able to swat the football away.
Yeah, when you're running to your left for your life and you have to throw back across your body, it's awful tough. And there's another ball that could have been one of those volleyball interceptions. They're fortunate.
74. That penalty's declined, result of the play is 4th down.
They called holding on left tackle Keith Lumpkin, and Indiana declines the penalty, so the punt team will come on for Rutgers. So a couple of 3-and-outs and a turnover for Rutgers to begin their third quarter, while Indiana has scored 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, he got his arm around the back of him, then he got it under his chin, and no doubt about it.
Mitchell Page calls for the fair catch late and makes it at the 33-yard line.
You know, you talk about Mitchell Page going back there. I've watched him. He's caught the ball. He's done an excellent job blocking downfield on some of those screens and those bubble screens and missile screens, and he's an active football player. Not the biggest guy in the world, 5'7", 176 pounds. Carmel, Indiana, just a great community up in the Indianapolis area. Got a good golf course up there.
That's what you're all about, partner.
No, I enjoy things of beauty.
Nate Sudfeld's day has been a thing of beauty. Over 400 yards passing with 4 touchdowns. Divine Redding. Full head of steam for Redding. He's got room. What kind of speed do you got, young fella? Redding. He's divine. Touchdown, Indiana. Six yards. I'm not convinced he was touched.
I liked how he went lateral and he just made a left-hand turn, man. Cobb's going down there blocking for him.
When this is all said and done, Rutgers is going to say, can you bring Tevin Coleman back? Maybe we'd have a better chance against him. Whoever. It's been a third quarter for the ages. Indiana, 244 total yards. Rutgers just 12. And that will be a penalty. The ball hits the end line, and it'll be good starting field position for Rutgers. Let's check in with Jeremiah Johnson.
Eric, we heard Kevin Wilson talk numerous times this week about swagger. His team needed to play with intensity, with confidence, and after those last 2 touchdowns, so many high fives, just flat out screaming from the offensive linemen. And then high fives from Nate Sudfeld to each of those guys. The line is starting this third quarter domination. And how about this season now? 79-14, Indiana is outscoring its opponents in the third quarter.
That's just amazing. It's something that Kevin Wilson has to be so proud of. His team, they go and regroup at halftime, and they come out totally recharged and refocused.
Well, you know, a lot of people say they must be making great halftime adjustments. You know, sometimes that's true, that sometimes that's not. But, you know, the thing about, I think he would tell you with this type of offense, with the tempo, when they get you on the run, watch out.
4 touchdowns this quarter for Indiana, 3 in the last 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Let's kick out of bounds.
Rutgers was leading at halftime, weren't they? I just want to make sure that was correct.
Correction, the ball hit out of bounds first, right?
Don Willard's done a good job of explaining the things going on down in the field today. Rutgers with just 1 first down here in the third quarter. And Laviano loses the snap. Jumps on it. Loss of 2. It's amazing how quickly things have turned and how dramatically things have turned.
Yeah, that looked like it was a good snap. It hit him in the hands and pulled out a little bit early. Got to hang in there. Remember, that center's got to snap that ball and block a 300-pounder. You just got to hold on to that ball.
Derek Nelson is the center out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. Carew, his 6th catch. And Carew barrels forward to the 41. Chase Dutra on the tackle. Carew, 6 catches, 2 touchdowns. Leonte Carew a week ago against Michigan State, a 3-touchdown game. Six catches, 114 yards here against Indiana. Patton gets the first down. That's a start.
Well, they pick up the first down and the ball was thrown out there. But, Pat, you got to know where that first down is. And you can't be looking for the big play. You got to get that first down and then see what you can do. He was running in his tracks there for a while.
Glenn Mason, they keep a running tally of the amount of games the Scarlet Knights have played. No program in the history of college football has played more football games than Rutgers. This is their 1,307th all-time game. Hicks. Rutgers played the very first college football game against Princeton.
In the great state of New Jersey, I might add.
The Garden State.
The Garden State. You know why they call it the Garden State, don't you?
I do not.
all the truck farming down in the southern part of the state. You ever had Jersey tomatoes and Jersey corn? None like it. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's the Garden State
corn.
No, that's for cows.
I hope my mom wasn't listening. My goodness. 2nd down and 9. Hicks still playing with a lot of fight. Andre Brown on the tackle, but that'll be close to the 1st down marker. It'll bring up 3rd down and short.
You got the Jersey Shore, you got Jersey corn, Jersey tomatoes. And a few other things we won't talk about.
It is a wonderful time to be in New Jersey coming into the Big Ten. It has changed things dramatically. I know that being a Midwestern and having an opportunity to experience the East Coast, kind of a cool addition to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. 3rd down and 1. Pile moves forward, and that'll be enough for the 1st down. Josh Hicks has it. When you were a kid growing up in New Jersey, could you imagine a time when Rutgers was playing in the Big Ten?
Never. No, it's really just up to a few years ago. I couldn't have imagined it. And, you know, when Greg Schiano went in there, he kind of put them on the map. And then when I go back to Jersey, go down to the Jersey Shore, everybody be wearing Rutgers stuff. I mean, that's, you know what college football does. It unites a university, it unites a community, it unites alumni, it unites a state.
Laviano wants a bunch, has a man open. It's Carew. He's got it. Another touchdown. Leonte Carew, his 2nd consecutive 3-touchdown game. And Carew is still down in the end zone. Landed awkwardly on that right ankle. Gutsy throw by Laviano.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You know, you just can't keep throwing those sure routes to Carew. He's too much of a deep threat. Take a chance. If it's a tie, he's going to come down with it.
So it's a 19-point game, and someone's chart must say to go for 2 in this circumstance.
I'm not that good at math.
2:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Justin Goodwin in the backfield next to Laviano. Incomplete. There is a flag down in the end zone. He was looking for Nick Arcidiacono.
Holding. Defense number 33. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. Repeat the try.
Just watch the tight end right there. They got their hands all over him. He got bumped, but that is definitely a hold. That was a good call by the official.
All eyes on Leonte Carew. Hopefully the injury not too severe. A running play. And it doesn't fool Indiana. Marcus Oliver on the tackle. So a touchdown for Rutgers, but they don't get the point after try. This the touchdown catch by Carew, and you see him land awkwardly on the right ankle. Now his massive day continues. He's now at 7 catches, 157 yards, and 3 touchdowns. His 3 scores have been for 58 yards, 23 yards, and 43 yards. And in his great career, he now has 5 separate games in which he's had 3 touchdowns.
Well, we talked about in the open, I don't know if there's a better receiver around than him. You saw they had double covered. There was 2 guys back there. You put the ball up, he's going to go get it. It's mine, and unfortunately landed on that right leg. Hard to play wide receiver with a bad foot also.
It is amazing that Rutgers has 33 points. This may be the only instance all year in college football where a team scores 33 points without ever running one play in the red zone. All of their touchdowns have been big plays. 5 touchdowns of 20 yards or more. Damon Graham trying to get to the edge. And the pursuit gets him, but a good return out close to midfield for Damon Graham. So Nate Sudfeld and Indiana, they don't need much help, but they have great starting field position.
Here's a guy we weren't really sure was going to play or not until we saw him warm up. Man, was he ready to go. You know, we knew how he could throw the football, but I like his decision making and what he does with his feet in this game. And you saw there the play fake, good play fake down at the goal line, and he's a lot more mobile. If there's any doubt that he's not 100%, you're kidding yourself.
You know, I'll take Kevin Wilson at his word. We talked to him yesterday, and he really did not know whether or not Nate Sudfeld was going to play. So his performance today has been miraculous. Mike Majette brought down close to the line of scrimmage.
You know, let me echo that. Kevin Wilson said, you know, he did practice. Practice isn't a game. And he said, I'm going to look at him and I'm going to think about, hey, when, you know, they're really coming after you and they're blitzing you, you're chasing around the field, is he capable of protecting himself first and foremost?
Record for passing yards in a game for Indiana, 480 for Ben Chappell. First time that Rutgers has solved the riddle of Mike Majette. Julian Penix-Odrick with the tackle.
You know, you'd start thinking, most offenses would start thinking about, well, the clock becomes your friend. But, you know, with this whole quarter to go, over a quarter to go, Hoosiers offense not going to slow down.
Sudfeld dumps it down to Majette. He's going to be short of the line to get. The clock continues to run. We've got 4th down. And Indiana looking towards that sideline. They're not going to have to make a decision for a while. If they want to, they can just watch this 3rd quarter dissolve into the 4th quarter. The play clock is off. Yeah, they're not going to run a play. So they'll be satisfied with 52 points through 45 minutes. The 4th quarter. Oh, bad snap. And Toth has to eat it. Ball still loose. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be a touchdown. Rutgers. Kamoko Toure picks up the football and scores the touchdown. That is not what Indiana needed, but exactly what Rutgers needed. Rutgers is back in this game.
You know, we've talked about this guy, Kamoko Toure, over the years, a young guy out of Newark, New Jersey, Barringer High School, has got a lot of ability, and coaches were talking about, you know, he hasn't really progressed as much as they'd like on the defensive side of the ball because he's had some injuries. But if he puts it all together, that guy can do it all.
So a bad snap. It was high and through the fingers of Toth, and it's a gift touchdown for Rutgers. They're going to go for 2 again. They were denied a moment ago. A 2 here makes it an 11-point game. Remember, Rutgers also missed an extra point that they kicked for back in the first half. Laviano. Flag is down. Laviano Carew is down. Richard Fant with the tackle.
Fabiano brought down on the play by number 16, Richard Fant. There is a flag.
Holding. Offense number 70. That penalty's declined. The try is no good.
Chris Muller called for the hold.
Yeah, you see it right there. He squared up pretty good, but oh yeah, he's got his left hand really jammed up around the guy under his pads. He had him gripped up as well as you can get a guy gripped up. I guess if you're going to hold and get called for holding, you ought to really hold, huh?
Well, Rutgers has now missed on 3 different extra point attempts. They tried to kick one in the first quarter, and that went awry, and now they've tried for 2 twice and been unsuccessful. So those are 3 gimme points that they just simply don't have. Take a look at the score. 52-39, just getting started in our 4th quarter. Leonte Carew has been as advertised. 2nd consecutive 3-touchdown game. Nate Sudfeld is closing in on the IU passing record. And the total yards of the 3rd quarter, it was Indiana dominating, but Rutgers 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, you talk about the missed extra points. I was one of those guys that, you know, really hear their philosophy. I'm not going to go for 2 until it's late in the game. Even when you have a big lead like that, like I said, I couldn't figure it out. I can't add that much. But wait until you got it down at the end of the game. You don't know what's going to happen late in the game that all of a sudden a missed extra point, missed two-point attempt comes back to bite you.
Graham, he's been busy. Indiana's offense back on the field. It was an important day for Nate Sudfeld to be able to play because Xander Diamant dealing with a shoulder injury. He's been ruled out. So Sudfeld's true backup unavailable. It would have been Danny Cameron, redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge, of course the son of former Hoosier great Cam Cameron. But he's just a redshirt freshman, not a lot of playing time. The dynamic of this ball game would have been totally different with Cameron under center as opposed to Sudfeld. Little slant, caught again. Ricky Jones.
And as we already talked about,
officials timeout for an injured defensive player.
That's Kai Hester, freshman safety.
as we talked about before with Sudfeld playing this game, all games are important, but the chance of making a bowl game enhanced by winning this game. Runs into his own man, helmet to helmet.
That's the second time that Steve Longo has been involved in a collision with one of the Rutgers defensive backs. It was Blesson Austin who left in the first half after colliding with Steve Longo. And Longo, who was hurt himself, came back into the game, but Austin did not. Leonte Carew, who was stunned a bit when he caught that last touchdown, is still gimpy on that sideline for Rutgers, but at least he's still on the sideline. He's not in the locker room.
You know, you can play offensive guard limping around like that. You can't play wide receiver, you can't play running back. You can even play quarterback with a bad ankle. We've seen it, you know, many times.
Saquon Hampton comes in at one of the safety spots, replacing Hester. Sudfeld. Pass is complete. This is Jones. And Jones is on the cusp of 100 yards. When he gets there, that will be 3 different Indiana receivers who have gone over the century mark. And he has gone over 100 yards. And Carew is going to the locker room. We'll try and get more information on Leonte Carew. So both Cobbs, Page, and Jones all with 100-yard days. Incomplete looking for Page.
Yeah, when you talk about Ricky Jones and we talk to Kevin Johns, the offensive coordinator, about him, you're surprised on how he's come on the scene this year, almost 20 yards of reception. He said, not really. We know it. He said he's got great speed. He really plays physical, and he has exceptionally strong hands.
Let's see how Indiana does, playing with this lead, trying to slow it down a tick. Redding, nowhere to go. Longa, he's had a day.
34, Divine Redding on the carry. 3, Steve Longa on the stop.
So Indiana, these numbers are staggering. Nate Sudfeld has thrown for over 400 yards. Divine Redding has run for over 100 yards. 3 different receivers have caught passes for over 100 yards.
It's a lot of yards. Add them up.
Crossing route, threw it late, now it'll be picked. Isaiah Wharton, that's the first interception thrown by Sudfeld today. Just his second interception on the year, and Rutgers has the ball back.
Talking about Kevin Johns, he said, they've got really young corners, but they've got talent. You can see what he's talking about.
Plays under further review.
The ruling on the field is the catch, but the replay official, Steve Beekman, is going to be looking as to whether or not the ground played a factor in that interception.
Well, you got to be impressed how Isaiah Wharton closed underneath him and got his hands out in front. That's textbook coverage right there. Bad decision by Sudfeld. Went over on his back, made a play.
He had his 2 hands around it, but the ball did hit the ground.
It hit the ground, but as long as it doesn't move, you're okay. Now, if that's my cornerback and I'm still coaching, that's an interception.
Well, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. And the call on the field was an interception.
I see it hit the ground, but I didn't see it move.
Is that the only bad decision that Sudfeld's made today?
Yes. And let me tell you, I see why he threw the ball. I mean, his receiver had position. He just had to put a little bit more zip into it. It wasn't a bad decision to throw it. It was a bad decision to throw it the way he did. Does that make any sense?
It does. Replay booth still looking at it. Now the decision's been made.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Rutgers.
So the turnover gives it back over to Rutgers. 13 minutes remaining, 13-point game.
Yeah, again, excellent interception, and the official got it right on the field. The replay official got it right up in the booth, and it's Rutgers ball.
Scarlet Knights still with a pulse. Nothing at all. Darius Latham again. This guy has been a treat from loss of 3.
Yeah, well, Carew's on the shelf. Got to find someone else to get a big play, manufacture some offense. Running in between the tackles, I don't think it's that way right now.
And they don't go very deep when it comes to wide receivers. Janarian Grant scoots out across the 45. Let's go to Rick Pizzo for a Lexus Studio update. Oh my, thank you, Rick. Mark D'Antonio, always super creative in the way that he choreographs things. Flag is down. Robert Martin inside the 40. There are 2 flags down. Would be a gain of 17.
Holding, offense number 60. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, it comes at an awful time, but that's Rutgers' first penalty of the entire game.
Yeah, Dorian Miller from Metuchen, New Jersey. He's got that left hand outside. You got to get it inside the framework of the body. They're going to call it.
He was holding Darius Latham, whose name we've called so frequently.
You know, those white gloves and those red jerseys kind of stick out.
Grant from the other side. And gets back to 10 that they lost because of the penalty.
Well, they've thrown 2 missile screens to Grant that have been effective. I'd look now to fake that pretty soon and then try to go deep. Complimentary play often.
Laviano, 307 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, but all touchdowns to Leonte Carew. Carew's in the locker room. He's replaced on the field by Carlton Agadosi. Agadosi, 9 catches on the year, as opposed to Leonte Carew, who has 9 touchdowns on the year. Martin. This kid's been impressive. He has had some really good, tough runs. Picks up 10.
Yeah, you look at him. He's got the ability. He's one of those running back has the ability to stop on a dime and make the cut backside. And he sees the vision. Guys that do that have great vision. You see it. He's just not doing it because there's nothing front side. He senses there's something backside, and there he goes.
Over the years, a lot of good football players that come out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. 3rd and 1. Quarterback keeper. It'll be a fresh set of downs. Rutgers, a very prideful unit. Kyle Flood has taken the Scarlet Knights to a bowl game each of his first 3 years as the head coach, but they're on the ropes right now. They're just 2-3 through 5 games. Bowl eligibility, 6 wins. They need to start getting some W's today. Would be a real nice road win.
And it doesn't get any easier after this week.
They got Ohio State next week in Piscataway. Tons of time looking for Agadosi. He's got it! Inside the 5. A big play by Carew's replacement, Carlton Agadosi. 40-yard pickup.
Yeah, you know, both Carlton and Leonte caught balls deep with 2 guys hanging all over them.
Agadosi, his first catch of the day. He's a big, tall receiver at 6'6", and they use that frame to perfection. Touchdown, Rutgers, Robert Martin, his 3rd TD today. Oh my goodness.
And we still have lots of time left.
And now down by 7, Rutgers is going to kick the extra point instead of going for it on 2 for 2. Kyle Federico to make it a 6-point game. Rutgers 3 touchdowns in the last 7 minutes and 40 seconds of game time. Sudfeld to the skies, has Page. Oh my, underthrown, and it's picked off. Back-to-back interceptions thrown by Sudfeld. Anthony Chaffee has the football. He just didn't throw it as far as he needed to. He had Page open.
Great interception by Anthony Chaffee, a young man out of Springfield, New Jersey. I ran into his mom and dad this morning. If you ever in Springfield, New Jersey, go to Chaffee's Deli. I've been there, Mountainside Avenue. It's really something special. Not as special as that interception, but they got great food there.
Third interception on the year for Chaffee. 3 turnovers for Indiana in the last 5 minutes and 33 seconds. That's a surefire way to get yourself into trouble. That's a quick way to make a 25-point lead dissolve as well. Rutgers playing without Leonte Carew, who left after scoring a touchdown. Martin to the 39-yard line. Ralph Green, the third, with the tackle. Well, right now, if you're Indiana, you getting a bit nervous? This would be a crippling loss.
Yeah, you're getting nervous because of the momentum you talk about. You had all the momentum, and now you've lost it. And you lost it even before you threw that interception. Now you got another team in Rutgers. They can go back to their initial game plan, mixing the run and the pass. Just very fortunate for Indiana that Carew is in the locker room.
Hand off to Martin. And Martin charging forward. Marcus Oliver the tackle, but not before a pickup of 13 yards. And with that carry, Martin, 97 rushing yards to go with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's got good quickness, good vision. He's a strong guy, and now you get the feeling when you watch Indiana defense, they're really playing back on their heels.
A touchdown, and Rutgers takes the lead. Should they get the extra point? Another gaping hole for Martin. Is the ball loose? The guys on the field are screaming, trying to take the football away, but Martin keeps it.
I still got to think that Jerrion Grant is going to show up big someplace in this game.
Paul James in, 2nd down and 2. Blitz is on, they get it to James. And a great open field tackle made by Oliver. That keeps Rutgers short of the line to gain. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, they had the right play call. They just didn't get the block. Nelson's out there, but he doesn't get the block on the man. That's a sign to the guy that's getting the ball. If he gets that block, man, we're going down the sideline.
Does Rutgers take a chance with a shot down the field on 3rd and short? No, they just want that 1st down. They got it, and then some. Look at this. Paul James, touchdown! This is stunning. Indiana's giving it all back.
You got to feel good about this guy, Paul James, a guy that got hurt last year. Let's not forget he had a 72-yarder against Michigan State last week. We got pulled down from behind. But how many times on a short yardage, 3rd and short, you see this happen because the defense is selling out to try to stop it and put it in a 4th down situation.
Rutgers was dead in the water. They were out. But Indiana let him back in, and that extra point is blocked. Oh, my! We're tied at 52. I don't think I've ever said that unless I was doing a basketball game. Oh, my!
Timeout.
A homecoming like none other. That is the 4th time that Indiana has foiled a Rutgers. So 4 touchdowns have not been followed with an extra point or a 2-point conversion for Rutgers. They have left 4 points just out there twisting.
You remember we were talking before the game, you said if I ever lost down here, I said early in my career in Minnesota I played down here and I lost the game by 1 point and I missed 2 extra points and 2 short field goals. Huh?
That'll drive you crazy as a coach.
There's got to be something about this stadium, I guess.
That'll be a touchback. All right. Does Kevin Wilson have a talk with Nate Sudfeld? His last 2 passes have been interceptions. There's Leonte Carew, who is done for the day. Well, what a day he had. 7 catches, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he has got a boot on that right foot. Hopefully that is just precautionary and we don't have anything official, but he obviously is done for today. Nate Sudfeld will try and pick himself up.
Yeah, Wilson said, don't throw any more interceptions.
Throw to the guys in crimson. Sudfeld. And Cobbs bobbled it. That'll be a catch. He gets out to the 27.
I've used the word poise so many times today, but you could see Sudfeld. He was looking left, nothing there. Last second, he gets his eyes bound to the right, finds the outlet. He's not a guy that's going to just take off and run with the football.
Redding. Flag down. Redding to the 33. Tackle made by Quanzell Lambert, but a flag down.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
Dimitri Camille.
Yeah, you'll see it right here. He's got his hands and he ends up falling on the guy, and he's a good-looking offensive lineman right there. 6'7", 310 from Houston.
Couple of cracks to pick up 17 yards. Good pass, pitch and catch. That's Ricky Jones. He's just shy of the marker. Needed 17, got 16.
You know, when you have a quarterback that can drop back and throw it from one hash all the way to the wide side of the field like that on a rope, that's special.
3rd down and 1. Redding caught in the backfield. Sebastian Joseph smelled it out, and the punt team will have to come on for Indiana.
There's no way he's going to go for it on 4th down here.
Now the holding penalty committed by Camille got that drive started off in the wrong direction. And it's going to be a quick possession. Rutgers going to get it back. Under 5 minutes to play. Grant. Tackled at the 33. Team, they're tied with Indiana at 52, and they've got the football. What's your thought process as you call plays and go down the field?
Well, you know, typically you say 4:47. I'd be telling my offensive coaches, move the ball, a couple of 1st downs. We don't need a touchdown. Just get us in good field goal range. Not the way that kicking game's been going. I'm saying you got to score a touchdown.
Playing without Leonte Carew. Carew, a huge day with 3 touchdowns, but injured on his last touchdown, and now in a walking boot. Robert Martin, another good carry, barrels forward for 6. Oliver on the tackle.
Again, the offensive line doing a good job for Rutgers. You get a guy like Martin. Look at that combo blocking in the middle, and that guard coming off, sealing the linebacker. One guy taking him down, otherwise it's a safety or off to the races. Good job by that offensive line.
Just to get you up to speed, Rutgers with all 3 timeouts. Indiana, they had to use 1, so they have 2. staying on the ground. The Hoosier defense holds. Gain of 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and short.
I'm going to go back to the conversation I had with Ben McDaniels about the running game, and he says, you know, that's who we are. When you get in this situation and you got under 4 minutes to go and you got the ball, you have to have a belief in the running game, and that's what you're going to go to. You know, you're just going to believe you're going to get it. Now, you'd like to be down to 3rd and 1 here because you'd know they'd run the football.
Rutgers has converted their last 4 third downs. First down, Martin. 3 straight carries for the sophomore from Harrisburg. He was nails on that game-tying touchdown drive against Michigan State. He's a late-game runner. He wears you down, and he doesn't get worn down.
Well, good running teams, that's what they do. They get better as the game goes on, and nothing would make Kyle Flood happier if that they can keep that running game going, eat up a little clock, but get the ball in the end zone.
Laviano in no hurry. Play action. Gains a couple. Stay tuned. Dave, Jerry, Howard, and Stanley, they'll be along for the State Farm postgame. They'll have scores, highlights, analysis of all today's games. It has been a classic fall Big Ten afternoon, and this is a wonderful game that we're watching. A lot of things to talk about. Still nothing decided. Closing in on the 2-minute mark. Martin. 3rd down. Clock continues to move. Under 2 minutes now.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they try to put the ball in Grant's hands. You know, it's been high percentage, low risk, high reward on some of those missile screens, tunnel screens, fire screens, whatever you want to call it. They get the right look outside, I think they'll do it.
Play clock is down to 10, and they haven't broken the huddle yet, so this is probably going to be a timeout. That's the first timeout taken by Rutgers.
First charge. Timeout at half. Rutgers. 30-second timeout.
I like the use of the timeout here because you look at it with 1:26 tie game, 1:26 left to go. You got to think that this situation, this 3rd down, means the ball game in regulation for Rutgers.
While we have moments, take a look at our Dr. Pepper play of the game. And this really changed momentum in the favor of Rutgers. A high snap goes over the head of the punter, Eric Toth. He can't pick it up. Kamoko Toure picks it up and rumbles in for a touchdown. And that got the ball rolling. That's our one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper play of the game. That brought Rutgers at least to the belief that they could compete. It made it 52-39 at that point. We're now tied at 52. 3rd and 6. Five-man rush. Pitch and catch. First down, Agadosi. And now the clock will stop temporarily, but then it'll get going again. And Indiana, do they start thinking about using timeouts?
Absolutely. I mean, you got enough time offensively and what they're going to do right here you don't need a lot of timeouts if you're Rutgers. And how about that throw by Chris Laviano? Pressure situation, put the ball right on the money, stop route. Impressive.
1 minute to play. Laviano in trouble. Had a couple of receivers in the vicinity. And the kicking game has been adventurous for Kyle Flood's Scarlet Knights. They've missed 2 extra points Kyle Federico normally pretty good. But right now, where they're closing in on the outskirts of field goal range, they're going to have to get significantly closer before they can realistically think about it. Second down. Screen is set up. That's Goodwin, who gets to the 30. Clock is stopped with 47 ticks remaining.
Second charge, timeout of the half, Indiana. So 30-second timeout.
Let's check in with Jeremiah.
Guys, remember our conversation with Coach Flood earlier this week. He had a lot of confidence in the kicking game. He told us if he gets within the 40-yard line, he feels like he's going to get points. Maybe not as much confidence right now, but at the 30, you know he's going to be ready for a field goal if there's a fourth down.
Kyle Federico's career long is 52 yards. He does have a powerful leg.
Yeah, he said that, but that's before they had the extra points blocking it. It's not the problem with Federico. It's the guys up front. They're letting penetration. Guys are getting up, and don't be surprised if Rutgers doesn't run the football here, only because the previous two downs, Indiana has played a cover 2. That means they only got 7 men committed to the run.
Third down and 4. The blitz. It's caught. Agadosi inside the red zone to the 14-yard line. Agadosi, the replacement for Leonte Carew, has been terrific.
Yeah, they handle the blitz. They get the crossing route. This is what I was talking about before. You normally play for the field goal. You're saying, listen, not make a chance, no turnovers, run the ball there, secure the football, but not the way things have gone tonight.
This may be quibbling, but why the spike? Remember, it was Laviano who spiked the ball on 4th down that ended the game a week ago against Michigan State when they were trying to come back.
Yeah, I would understand.
Wouldn't you want the clock continue to move?
Well, that, and plus, if you wanted to stop it, use your timeouts.
Straight up the gut, this is Martin. Indiana has another timeout if they want to use it. Now the clock will continue to move. And it appears as if Rutgers is going to be content to try and kick a game-winning field goal. Will they take a shot into the end zone on 3rd down?
Second charge, timeout of the half, Rutgers. 30 seconds in length.
Coming up, the State Farm post game. So many wonderful things to talk about. One of those great Big Ten weekends. Fun-filled games all over the conference. And maybe nothing more exciting than what we've got here. Nate Sudfeld with a career day for him. 3 different Indiana Hoosiers have caught passes for over 100 yards. They've got a 100-yard rusher. Nate Sudfeld, our Duluth Trading hardest working player. 464 passing yards, but a couple of late interceptions. He may have thrown for all those yards in a losing effort.
Might have. You asked me a question. If I was there, I'd take a look at my kicker, and if he's up standing next to me, he wants to go in there, I'm going to get hold of those offensive lines. You got to protect, kick this field goal.
Conservative play call.
Yeah.
And the clock continues to move. Indiana doesn't call a timeout. Rutgers hasn't called a timeout. There it goes.
Yeah, my point being is I don't think it's...
Third and final charge, timeout of the half.
Kyle
Rutgers.
Federico having a bad day. It's the
length.
supporting cast. And as long as he hasn't lost his confidence, when you're on the coach on the sideline, you can tell if the kicker's back getting a drink of water, I'm going to say we got to try to take a shot. But if he's right up there and he's got the confidence, you should be able to get your protection team. I mean, it's kind of elementary. It's hard to block an extra point. And we say, hey, come on, fellas, let's go. Good snap, good hold, good block. 6 seconds left. Let's make it. Let's go back to Piscataway.
Darius Latham has blocked 2 extra point attempts. He will be in that center of the front wall for Indiana. The important people for Rutgers. The snapper is Alan Lucy. The holder is the punter Joey Roth. But this is a game-winning situation for Kyle Federico, likely to be a 26-yard field goal.
And, you know, I'd add the left guard, too, because that's where the penetration has come from. You got to cover up for the center.
Indiana does have a timeout if they want to use it. He got it. There is a flag down on the field.
Personal foul, leaping, defense number 30. That penalty's declined. The field goal is good. The game is over.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
What a win for Rutgers! The Rutgers Scarlet Knights, they come back down 25, and they rip the heart out of Kevin Wilson and the Indiana Hoosiers.
Let's not forget they were leading at halftime, though. Wow, what a game.
28 unanswered points in the final 17 minutes and 6 seconds.
Wow.
They've been playing a whole bunch of football in Piscataway, 1,307 games. The most in college football history. They've never won one like they did today.
Yeah, and they had to do it at the end without their best player, Leonte Carew. And, you know, I tell you, we saw some good quarterback play. And it was a tough fought ball game by both squads. And you look at those guys, if you're not think they're having college football at its finest right there.
Kyle Federico, you're going to enjoy the plane ride home. Congratulations, you got a game winner after missing 2 extra points. He makes the biggest kick of his season. Let's go down on the field and check in with Jeremiah.
An absolutely amazing game. A couple of comebacks. First Indiana, then Rutgers. Coach Flood, some hugs, some high fives, some handshakes. Can you describe what you just saw?
Well, it's not easy to describe right now. I think we'll take it all in as we go, but I'm so proud of our team, how hard they fought. They fought in the first half. They fought in the second half. I think it's a testament really to the quality of the people we have in our program.
When Indiana scores 4 straight touchdowns and you have to make that comeback, what was the difference?
Yeah, the difference is you have the right people. You need special people on your team to be able to come back and overcome that, and I give a ton of credit to Coach Wilson and his team. They've got a really good football team. They're tough to handle.
You're sitting at 2-3, facing what would have been a 4th defeat. How much can this turn your season around?
You know what? Next week will be a new week with different matchups and different schemes. I'm really proud of what we did today. We're going to enjoy it on the way home. We'll get back to work tomorrow.
The emotion on this field, though, is evident.
There's a lot of emotion right now.
Kyle Flood, congratulations.
Thank you.